You just expect a lot when you go to meet like your idol, and then when you get disappointed, it's like such a letdown.
They say never meet your heroes because they might just turn out to be total jerks. From the A-list actress known for her diva-like demands, to the chart-topping singer with a notorious bad attitude, to the beloved TV star who's a nightmare to work with, it seems fame and bad manners often go hand in hand. While their talents brought them celebrity, their brash personalities and discourteous behavior have landed them on everyone's list of the rudest stars around. In today's video, we're counting down the top 20 rudest celebrities of all time. These stars may have stratospheric careers, but when it comes to basic human decency, they're rock bottom. 20. Bruce Willis.
You get knocked on your ass.
You might knock me on my ass. That might happen.
You want to try it?
Might
Try
happen.
it again.
You gotta
Try it again.
lose
See what
weight
happens.
first.
Action star Bruce Willis has been a fixture on the big screen since the 1980s, with iconic roles in blockbusters like Die Hard, Armageddon, and The Sixth Sense. But the wisecracking everyman persona he often portrays doesn't seem to match up with real-life reports of the actor's rude treatment of young fans. Willis first gained notice on the TV series Moonlighting before becoming one of Hollywood's most bankable leading men. His films have grossed over $3 billion in North America alone. In addition to his prolific acting career, Willis has also released a couple of albums as a singer. Yet behind Willis's smirking charm are stories of a much nastier attitude. During a 1996 visit to an Atlanta restaurant with then-wife Demi Moore, Willis reportedly began yelling at two 10-year-old boys just for smiling and pointing at him from across the room. Apparently, the superstar has little patience for being recognized, even by his most innocent and well-meaning fans. It's a disappointing revelation for those who adore Willis's cheeky, relatable film roles. 19. Rachel Ray.
Note to self, don't put your kitchen towel too close to the stove.
With her bubbly personality and infectious catchphrases like Yummo, Chef Rachel Ray has built an empire as one of the most popular food media personalities. In addition to her long-running talk show, the culinary queen has authored countless cookbooks and launched her own magazine. However, some who've seen Ray in person say her perky on-camera persona doesn't reflect her true colors. The New York native got her start teaching cooking classes at a gourmet market before being discovered by local media. Her 30-minute meals concept landed her a show on Food Network in 2001. Ray soon expanded to daytime talk with the launch of The Rachel Ray Show in 2006. Her approachable style has made her a favorite with home cooks. Behind the scenes, though, Ray is allegedly much less warm. One former audience member at her talk show described Ray as cold and annoyed that she had to do the show. The disgruntled fan claimed Ray greeted the crowd with an eye roll and complaints, a far cry from the chipper, down-to-earth image she projects on TV. It's surprising to hear such sour recollections about the usually upbeat Ray. 18. Jared Leto.
Hey yo, you with your fingers in your chin beard, what are you sitting on your fucking ass for? Huh? This is the 30 Seconds to Mars show. Okay.
Actor and musician, Jared Leto has cultivated an eccentric public image over the years with his wild film transformations and flamboyant fashion. The Oscar winner is known for intense immersion into roles in films like Dallas Buyers Club and Suicide Squad. Off-screen, he tours with his rock band 30 Seconds to Mars. But Leto's apparent rudeness to concert-goers has left a sour note. Leto first rose to fame on the 1990s teen drama My So-Called Life before transitioning to films. He's since become one of Hollywood's most chameleonic actors, drastically changing his appearance for parts. His method acting approach is legendary, with tales of Leto terrorizing his Suicide Squad castmates while playing the Joker. Some might say Leto's bad attitude isn't just an act, though. During a 2011 show in Brazil with 30 Seconds to Mars, the rocker reportedly flipped off a fan for not knowing all the words to the band's songs. While Leto may be committed to his craft, it seems common courtesy isn't always a priority. For an artist so dedicated to connecting with audiences on screen, Leto can be oddly hostile when face-to-face with fans. 17. Joan Crawford.
Is this worth going on with? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, indeed. Every minute of it. And you know, I find that when I'm not working, and I don't have to get up at that ungodly hour in the morning at 4:45, I get very lazy.
With her strong features and intense charisma, Joan Crawford was one of classic Hollywood's most glamorous leading ladies. She reached the heights of stardom in the 1930s and 40s, winning an Oscar for Mildred Pierce. But behind the scenes, Crawford was a notoriously demanding diva. The actress started as a chorus girl before finding fame at MGM in the late 1920s. Her striking looks and forceful acting style made her an icon of the era in films like Grand Hotel and The Women. When Crawford's career waned in the 40s, she fought back with a bravura performance in Mildred Pierce. Crawford was always consumed by her rivalry with fellow star Bette Davis, though. Davis was dismissive of Crawford's acting ability, branding her a beauty with no talent. Crawford resented Davis's superior acclaim and schemed to upstage her. On the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, their animosity reached a fever pitch. While Davis had a reputation for being difficult, Crawford was downright sadistic. She put weights in her pockets for a scene where Davis had to drag her, causing the older actress intense back pain. Crawford also campaigned against Davis for the Oscar that year. Their bitter feud became the stuff of legend. Stories abound of Crawford's outrageous ego. She refused to allow other actresses to share her dressing room, even when space was tight. She'd intentionally enter scenes late, so the focus would be on her. Crawford obsessed over her appearance, bleaching her skin and having her teeth capped. Her vanity rivaled her cruelty. Most infamously, Crawford's adopted daughter, Christina, published Mommy Dearest after her death, alleging horrific abuse. While some friends claim Christina exaggerated, the memoir paints a chilling portrait of a vicious stage mother. Crawford's compulsive perfectionism apparently extended to parenthood in the worst way. Daughter or co-star, no one was spared Joan's wrath for failing to meet her impossible standards. The real Crawford was far from ready for her close-up. 16. Jennifer Lopez.
I don't do this for you.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Living my life.
Bueno, lo que pasa es que estoy agradecido. ¿Está mal estar agradecido, J-Lo?
Be grateful.
Gracias, J-Lo, te quiero.
Jennifer Lopez is an entertainment powerhouse with a career spanning music, movies, and TV. But despite her A-list status and glamorous image, J-Lo has a reputation for diva-like behavior and being rude to staff and servers. The Bronx-born performer started as a backup dancer before landing the lead role in 1997's Selena, portraying the late Latin icon. She became the first actress to have a #1 movie and album in the same week with 2001's The Wedding Planner and her second album. J-Lo Lopez has since starred in a string of successful romantic comedies while continuing to churn out multi-platinum albums. Stories of Lopez's demanding attitude are legend, though. In a resurfaced clip, she was seen casually spitting her gum into her assistant's hand, prompting backlash online over her apparent lack of manners. Other rumors abound of ridiculous requirements when appearing at events, like insisting on all-white decorations or having people walk backwards in front of her. She's also allegedly had servers fired for petty reasons like looking at her. Former employees have anonymously shared negative experiences working for Lopez, painting her as cold and aloof. For someone who sells such a fun-loving image, the reality seems far less Jenny from the block. 15. Robert Pattinson.
Hey, what is your problem, dude? Hey, what is your problem, dude?
As the brooding vampire Edward Cullen in the Twilight films, Robert Pattinson became an overnight teen idol. The British actor was inescapable at the height of the supernatural romance franchise's popularity. But it seems the endless attention from obsessive fans, nicknamed Tweehards, started to grate on the heartthrob. Pattinson, who began his career on stage in London, had only appeared in a few films, like Harry Potter and The Goblet of Fire, before being cast in Twilight. The 5 films, released between 2008 to 2012, were a pop culture phenomenon that made Pattinson a superstar. He's gone on to focus on smaller, artsier fare in recent years. However, at the height of Twilight mania, Pattinson made some condescending remarks about the franchise's passionate fan base. In a 2013 interview, he pondered what Tweehards did all day, speculating they just sat online writing about the films. The dismissive comment showed a lack of appreciation for the very people who made him famous. Pattinson has admitted he sometimes intentionally tried to alienate fans to maintain privacy. While understandable, it doesn't change the sting of having your devotion mocked by your idol. 14. Adam Levine.
Take a better time. Put your phone away, lady. Okay, here's the deal. If you have a phone and you can't join in with the rest of us who are awesome, then if I see you on the phone, I'm gonna walk the other way.
Maroon. 5 frontman Adam Levine has reached A-list status through his stint as a coach on the hit singing competition, The Voice. His charm and good looks have made him popular with fans. But behind Levine's rock star swagger, there are accusations that he can be very dismissive to those same admirers. Levine formed Maroon 5 in the 1990s, with songs about Jane propelling them to stardom in the 2000s. Hits like This Love and She Will Be Loved established the band as pop rock mainstays. Levine's fame rose to another level when he joined The Voice as a coach in 2011. However, one unimpressed fan took to Reddit to recount an unpleasant encounter with the Sugar singer. When a female fan asked for his autograph, Levine allegedly turned her down flat, declaring, "I don't give autographs to ugly chicks." If true, it's a shockingly cruel response from someone who relies on public adoration. Other fans have shared stories of Levine's cocky, rude attitude when approached, like scoffing and walking away. His playboy image and model-marrying lifestyle seem to have inflated his ego to the point where he has no problem casually disparaging average folks. 13. Tobey Maguire.
Get the fuck out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker! Get out of the way!
In the early 2000s, Tobey Maguire was on top of the world as the star of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. With his boyish good looks and aw-shucks demeanor, the actor was highly popular in the role of wisecracking Peter Parker. But reports of Maguire's egotistical attitude toward fans tarnish his nice guy image. Maguire started as a child actor in the 1980s, appearing in films like The Wizard. In the 90s, he graduated to edgier material like The Ice Storm and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. His supporting turn in 1998's Pleasantville alongside Reese Witherspoon raised his profile considerably. Landing the coveted Spider-Man part made Maguire a household name. Behind the scenes, though, he was apparently too wrapped up in his own egotistical web to interact much with fans. Maguire was even voted the worst celebrity autograph signer. Additionally, in her memoir, Molly Bloom detailed a bizarre incident where Maguire tried to make her bark like a seal for poker chips. When she refused, he taunted her, highlighting an apparent cruel streak. For an actor known for playing the ultimate everyman hero, Maguire seems to lack basic decency. 12. Ashton Kutcher.
Is it you're so freaking hot?
No, it's being able to do scenes with him and being in it with him. I mean, to be
so
with an
freaking
extraordinary actor. Stop
Sorry,
it
go
now.
ahead.
Silly goose. And Sean Levy, the director.
In the early 2000s, Ashton Kutcher was seen as a himbo icon, playing lovable but dim-witted characters on That 70s Show and in films like Dude, Where's My Car? His good looks and charm made him a tabloid fixture during his marriage to Demi Moore. But accounts of rude encounters paint the affable actor in a much harsher light. Kutcher first gained notice as dopey Michael Kelso on That 70s Show, which ran from 1998 to 2006. He soon landed leading roles in comedy films, often playing variations on his dumb but sweet sitcom persona. High-profile pranks, show punked, also boosted his celebrity. However, actress and TV personality Sharon Osbourne maintains Kutcher's nice guy act is just that. She's called him the rudest celebrity she's ever met, detailing a disastrous 2008 interview where Kutcher had an inexplicable attitude with her from the start. Osbourne claims the actor was condescending and hostile for no apparent reason, leaving her unimpressed with the young star. Sometimes the worst behavior comes from the most seemingly likable celebs. His real personality is apparently a far cry from his goofy on-screen image. 11. Sean Penn.
Get the f*** out of here. I'll make you eat the clothes. Get out of here.
Sean Penn has enjoyed a long, acclaimed career, winning Oscars for intense dramas Mystic River and Milk. The actor and activist is known for his hot temper, though, with a history of violent outbursts against the paparazzi and others. It seems regular folks aren't safe from Penn's ire either. The California native began acting on TV in the 1970s before moving to film. Bad boy turns in 1980s movies Racing with the Moon, The Falcon, and The Snowman, and at close range started to cement his image as a rebel. High-profile relationships with Madonna and Robin Wright often overshadowed his acting. Penn's penchant for a confrontation apparently extends to average citizens too, though. In 2013, he was accused of snatching a cell phone from a fan's hand and throwing it to the ground while screaming obscenities at them for trying to take his picture in a hotel. Although no charges were filed, it shows how angry Penn can seemingly get over minor annoyances. He's had multiple arrests over the years for everything from assaulting an extra on set to kicking a photographer. Penn's explosive temper is almost as well known as his acting talent. 10. Mike Myers.
So has she evaluated your work?
Yes.
And?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Come on.
Not really.
Seriously, your mom?
I have no idea. She's been very withholding.
Mike Myers is responsible for some of the most iconic comedic characters of the past few decades, like Wayne Campbell, Austin Powers, and Shrek. The Canadian actor first broke out on Saturday Night Live before transitioning to film superstardom. However, there are many stories about Myers being very difficult to work with. After honing his skills in the Toronto comedy scene, Myers joined the cast of SNL in 1989. He became one of the sketch show's standouts with characters like Dieter, the host of Sprockets. Wayne's World, based on his popular sketch with Dana Carvey, became a surprise hit in 1992. Myers continued his hot streak with the Austin Powers spoofs and voicing the title role in the Shrek franchise. But he's reportedly a perfectionist on set and makes extreme demands. His The Cat in the Hat co-star Amy Hill called filming with him a horrible, nightmarish experience. Other colleagues have shared stories of Meyer's diva-like behavior, like having a personal assistant to ferry him chocolate. Hill said he made little effort to interact with anyone outside his inner circle. The comedy legend is apparently a real sourpuss on set. 9. William Frawley.
Owners don't carry brooms. I'm a trainer.
Oh, in that case, would you kindly announce to the owner that the Countess André Gaston Armand Jean-Louis Philippe Framboise de Cul-de-Sac has arrived?
Okay. Hey, boss! There's a dame here to see you.
For many, William Frawley is best remembered as cantankerous neighbor Fred Mertz on the classic sitcom I Love Lucy. His bickering with on-screen wife Ethel, played by Vivian Vance, was a highlight of the show. In real life, though, Frawley was even grumpier than his character. Frawley started in vaudeville before moving to Broadway and films in the 1930s. He appeared in over 100 movies, including the holiday favorite Miracle on 34th Street, usually playing a gruff comic foil. I Love Lucy, which ran from 1951 to 1957, made him a TV icon. However, Frawley and Vance infamously despised each other off-camera. She resented being paired romantically with a man 22 years her senior. He was a heavy drinker and often showed up unprepared. Vance once declared, "I loathed William Frawley," and the feeling was mutual. Others who worked with Frawley described him as cantankerous and difficult, according to co-star Keith Thibodeau, Little Ricky. Nobody got along with Frawley. He was very difficult. Frawley even punched actor Clifton Webb in the nose over a dispute. His on-screen crankiness wasn't much of a stretch. 8. Chevy Chase.
That was a hit show. That show had good reviews.
I didn't know that. I didn't care that it was a hit show or not. My efforts to become part of that cast were eschewed consistently, partly because I didn't know what they had, and partly because I wasn't happy.
Chevy Chase was the breakout star of Saturday Night Live's first season, originating the Weekend Update anchor role. His work in comedy films like Caddyshack and the Vacation series made him one of the top movie stars of the 1980s. Behind the scenes, though, Chase developed a reputation as an egotistical jerk. Chase started his career as a writer on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour and National Lampoon projects. When SNL debuted in 1975, his Pratfalls, an impression of President Ford, quickly made him a favorite. Wanting to pursue a film career, he left the show after one season. As his stardom rose, so did Chase's prickly personality. He's infamous for nasty fights with co-stars and directors, reducing Community actress Yvette Nicole Brown to tears on set. Chase also has a mean streak with fans. When introduced to Rob Hubel, a self-proclaimed fan at a comedy show, Chase slapped the actor hard across the face. He tried to play it off as a joke, but just came across as unhinged. Chase's smug on-screen persona is apparently no act. 7. Cher.
No, I didn't mean it in that way. Okay. Bitch.
With a career spanning 6 decades, Cher is a true show business legend. She first gained fame in the 1960s as half of the folk rock duo Sonny and Cher before becoming a solo superstar in the 1970s. Cher has also found success on screen, winning an Oscar for 1988's Moonstruck. The diva is as well known for her outspoken nature as her talent, though. Cher met Sonny Bono in 1962 and served as his backup singer. Their first hit, I Got You Babe, topped charts worldwide, making them famous as a romantic and musical duo. The pair starred on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour in the early 70s. When their marriage ended, Cher established herself as a solo artist with hits like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. She's one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with 100 million records sold. The icon is revered for her outrageous fashions, sassy comebacks, and take-no-prisoners attitude. That strong personality can veer into rudeness, though. Cher's bluntness is part of her charm, but also leads to public outbursts, like profanely calling out a fan online. She's not afraid to speak her mind, even if it means offending others. In addition to her infamous feud with Madonna, whom she called a spoiled brat, Cher has taken shots at various other celebrities over the years. She once quipped that David Letterman was very smart and very funny, when he's not being a complete asshole. Cher also got into a Twitter spat with Donald Trump before he was elected president, branding him a complete idiot and receiving his ire in return. Her unfiltered commentary often lands her in hot water. While fans admire Cher's boldness, her lack of tact can be seen as disrespectful. She's been known to make crude sexual remarks in interviews and heckle her own tribute artists. At an event honoring her, Cher even told the crowd, "I'm not going to say I don't deserve this, because I do, probably more than anybody." Cher owns her divadom, though, refusing to apologize for her antics. She's admitted to being difficult and demanding throughout her career. In a 2013 Reddit AMA, she said, "I'm a perfectionist. I'm not easy. Her DGAF attitude is central to her appeal. At this point, fans expect and even embrace Cher's insolence, seeing it as part of her fabulous, unfiltered essence. For the entertainer once described as part goddess, part bitch, a little rudeness simply comes with the territory. 6. Ellen DeGeneres.
And then there's me, Ellen. I'm the host of the show and the reason you all have a job.
For years, Ellen DeGeneres was seen as the ultimate nice celebrity, beloved for her goofy dancing and be kind catchphrase. The comedian and actress built an empire on her image as everyone's fun, approachable friend. But explosive allegations about DeGeneres' true nature have permanently fractured her warm public persona. The Louisiana native first gained attention as a stand-up comic before playing the first openly gay main character on a sitcom in Ellen. She became a mainstream superstar as the host of the daytime talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which ran from 2003 to 2022. Her affable demeanor and silly games made her a hit with viewers. However, the facade crumbled in 2020 after a viral Twitter thread alleging DeGeneres' rude behavior behind the scenes. Current and former employees came forward with stories of mistreatment, leading to an internal investigation. The accusations ran the gamut from DeGeneres complaining about her fans to cruel interactions with staff and guests. One woman claimed DeGeneres berated her for having chipped nail polish. Others described a toxic work culture of racism and intimidation. The Queen of Nice was apparently nothing of the sort, contributing to her talk show's cancellation in 2022. For someone who ended every show by saying, "Be kind to one another," DeGeneres failed to practice what she preached. 5. Frank Sinatra.
Get off the stage and stay the hell off the stage. I don't bother you in your job, you idiot.
Frank Sinatra is one of the most iconic entertainers of the 20th century, a legendary crooner who epitomized swagger and style. With his velvety voice and magnetic stage presence, Old Blue Eyes captivated audiences for decades. But the chairman of the board was also notorious for his mercurial temper and ties to the mob. Sinatra first gained fame in the 1940s as a teen idol, causing young Bobby Soxers to swoon with his dreamy ballads. He went on to become a chart-topping solo artist in the 1950s and 60s, releasing classic concept albums like Come Fly With Me and Only the Lonely. Sinatra also found success as an actor, winning an Oscar for From Here to Eternity. However, Sinatra's dark side often eclipsed his immense talent. He was infamous for his drunken brawls and vicious feuds with fellow stars, politicians, and journalists. Sinatra had a volcanic temper and would verbally or physically attack those who crossed him. His Rat Pack pal, Shirley MacLaine, described him as perverse and tortured. Sinatra despised the press, feeling they invaded his privacy. He once sent a crude funeral wreath to a magazine editor. His womanizing and connections to organized crime also tarnished his image. Sinatra flaunted his power in a way that could be vulgar and belittling to others. Old Blue Eyes was capable of great generosity and charm, but his mean streak was equally renowned. He demanded unquestioning loyalty from friends and employees, ruthlessly cutting off any perceived traitors. Comedian Don Rickles was one of the few who could rib Sinatra and get away with it. For most, though, Frank was not to be trifled with. His well-documented rudeness and ability to hold a grudge stood in stark contrast to the elegant romance of his music. 4. Kanye West.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Kanye West is one of the most influential musicians of the 21st century, shaping hip-hop, popular culture, and fashion with his groundbreaking work. The rapper producer's albums, like The College Dropout, 808s and Heartbreak, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, are considered classics. He's also notorious for provocative public statements and erratic behavior. West first gained attention as a producer for Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records before launching his solo career. His 2004 debut, The College Dropout, made him a superstar, celebrated for his clever wordplay and soulful production style. He's remained a critic's darling while dominating the pop chart. The artist, now known as Ye, has long been a magnet for controversy, though. He's famously interrupted various award shows, memorably cutting off Taylor Swift at the 2009 MTV VMAs to declare that Beyoncé deserved the Best Female Video prize over her. West faced furious backlash in 2018 after suggesting slavery was a choice for African Americans during a TMZ interview. His unpredictability makes him a risky guest, as he'll lash out at hosts and derail interviews to rant. With his massive ego, West often comes across as rude and dismissive. Recent anti-Semitic comments have further damaged his reputation, leading to professional fallout. Where his boorish antics were once accepted as part of his genius persona, the public seems to have lost patience with West's antagonistic attitude. 3. Christian Bale.
What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good because it's useless now, isn't it?
Christian Bale is considered one of the finest actors of his generation, known for his intense commitment to roles in films like American Psycho, The Machinist, and the Dark Knight trilogy. The Welsh thespian is famously dedicated to his craft, drastically transforming his appearance for parts. Less flattering are stories of him berating innocent fans. Bale began his career as a child actor in Steven Spielberg's Empire of the Sun. As an adult, he's preferred challenging roles in independent films and blockbusters alike. He's particularly noted for his frequent weight gains and losses, and even shaved his head for parts. The actor's temper gained infamy in 2009 when audio leaked of him verbally assaulting a crew member on the set of Terminator Salvation. Bale's former publicist also alleged he would lecture little girls about being rude and intrusive until tears streamed down their faces when they approached him in public. She claimed Bale advocated violence against fans who wrote to him, suggesting he wanted one eliminated with a screwdriver thrust through the eyeball. While likely hyperbole, it paints an ugly portrait of a man with no tolerance for enthusiastic admirers. The Oscar winner apparently has little patience for the trappings of stardom. 2. Justin Bieber.
Man, you don't understand. I'm your biggest fan. Please, Justin. Oh, man.
Justin Bieber is arguably the biggest pop star in the world, rising to fame in his early teens with his fresh-faced looks and earworm hits. But the singer's transition from boy wonder to adult has been marked by scandal and rudeness, leaving some fans to sour on the former wunderkind. The Canadian sensation first gained attention from YouTube videos of him singing covers before releasing his debut EP, My World, in 2009 at age 15. Bieber fever soon took hold with his boyish charm and catchy tunes like Baby and One Less Lonely Girl. He broke sales records and inspired worship among the masses. During his adolescence and early 20s, though, Bieber displayed bratish tendencies that didn't match his bubblegum image. Incidents include shouting at his own fans to be quiet at a concert and allegedly spitting on those gathered below his hotel balcony. In 2014, he was arrested for DUI while drag racing, though he's worked to rehabilitate his image in recent years, apologizing for past mistakes. Bieber's history of rudeness still taints his megastardom for many. His treatment of fans at the height of his fame, from snubbing their autograph requests to cursing at them, showed a shocking level of ingratitude. As at Detraichi, 56 put it on Reddit, leaving a mark wherever he goes. 1. Will Smith.
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Will Smith is one of the biggest movie stars in the world, with a string of blockbuster hits like Independence Day, Men in Black, and Bad Boys. The rapper-turned-actor rose to fame on the sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before conquering Hollywood. His megawatt charm and charisma have made him a global superstar. But a violent outburst at the 2022 Oscars, where he slapped presenter Chris Rock on stage over a joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith, shattered his family-friendly image. Smith first gained notice as half of the hip-hop duo DJ Jazzy Jeff and The Fresh Prince in the 1980s. Their Grammy-winning hits included Parents Just Don't Understand. In 1990, he parlayed his musical success into the lead role on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, playing a fictionalized version of himself. The show ran for 6 seasons and established Smith as a TV star. He seamlessly transitioned to films, anchoring 1990s smashes Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black. Smith's effortless, cool, and PG-rated lyrics led him to be dubbed Mr. July by studios, as his summer movies were practically guaranteed hits. He earned Oscar nominations for Ali and The Pursuit of Happiness, but a long-awaited win for King Richard was overshadowed by The Slap. At the 2022 ceremony, Smith rushed the stage and slapped a stunned Rock after the comedian made a crack about Pinkett Smith's shaved head. She has alopecia. Smith returned to his seat and twice bellowed at Rock to keep my wife's name out your foaming mouth. He went on to win Best Actor soon after, but the incident sparked a firestorm. Smith later resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and was banned from attending their events for 10 years. Beyond the shocking nature of Smith assaulting a fellow star on live TV, The Slap shook his persona as an eternally upbeat good guy. Viewers were aghast at his lack of control and concern for those around him. Some in the industry came forward to describe past unpleasant interactions with the actor, painting a picture of a pampered ego used to getting his way. The ugly event has led to a reappraisal of Smith's nice guy image, revealing cracks in the facade. From his self-aggrandizing memoir to his and Pinkett Smith's oversharing of private matters, Smith's apparent need to be liked and constant seeking of attention now seemed troubling. His perfect persona doesn't quite match reality. While he's since apologized to Rock and others, Smith's violent display of rudeness on Hollywood's biggest stage won't soon be forgotten. The Fresh Prince has lost his claim to the throne. The most evil actors from Hollywood's golden age.
I'm going to tell you very truthfully.
Suit out of me, Mickey.
No, I'm not.
Hollywood's golden age is often remembered for its glamorous stars and groundbreaking films. However, behind the scenes, some of its most beloved figures had darker, more controversial lives. This article delves into the off-screen behaviors and scandals of 11 iconic actors from this era. From Wallace Beery's violent tendencies to Charlie Chaplin's legal and political troubles, we explore the complexities and contradictions of these legendary personalities. Their stories reveal that the allure of Hollywood's golden years often masked a reality far less enchanting. Wallace Beery.
Here in early 1930, he's living real-life drama as he's made Lieutenant Commander in Naval Reserve. It's well-deserved honor for Wallace Beery.
Wallace Beery, born on April 1, 1885, in Clay County, Missouri, was a versatile and talented actor known for his roles in silent films and early talkies. He began his career in the circus before transitioning to vaudeville and eventually to Hollywood, where he became a prominent figure during the silent film era. Beery's breakthrough came with the role of Bill in The Champ, 1931, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. Despite his success on screen, Beery's off-screen life was marred by numerous controversies that painted a darker picture of the beloved actor. Beery's reputation for violent behavior and abusive conduct was well known in Hollywood circles. One of the most notorious incidents involved the death of comedian Ted Healy in 1937. Healy, known for creating the comedy group The Three Stooges, died under mysterious circumstances following a physical altercation. Rumors swirled that Beery, along with two others, had been involved in a drunken brawl with Healy the night he died. Although no charges were ever filed, the suspicion lingered, casting a shadow over Beery's career. Aside from this incident, Beery was known for his difficult and aggressive nature on set. Co-stars and crew members often described him as a bully who used his physical presence to intimidate others. Actress Marjorie Main, who worked with Beery in several films, once remarked, "Wallace Beery was a brute. He was awful to work with." His temper and unprofessional behavior led to numerous conflicts with directors and fellow actors, contributing to his reputation as one of Hollywood's most challenging stars. Beery's personal life was equally tumultuous. He was married twice, both marriages ending in divorce amidst allegations of domestic violence and infidelity. His second wife, actress Rita Gilman, accused him of being physically abusive, a claim that further tarnished his public image. Additionally, Beery's relationships with his children were strained, with reports suggesting that he was a domineering and often cruel father. Despite these controversies, Beery's talent and on-screen charisma kept him in high demand. His ability to portray both comedic and dramatic roles earned him a place among Hollywood's elite, even as his off-screen behavior made him a pariah in some circles. His legacy remains a complex one, marked by both his significant contributions to early cinema and the darker aspects of his personal life. Walter Brennan.
The great belief in the fact that someday that I would get a break, and I prayed. I'm a great believer in prayer. I believe it can do wonders with prayer, and I still believe this. Now I pray, but I pray in thankfulness. Thanks from
Walter Brennan, born on July 25, 1894, in Lynn, Massachusetts, was one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors, known for his distinct voice and ability to portray grizzled, wise, or eccentric old men. Brennan enjoyed a prolific career, winning 3 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor for his roles in Come and Get It, 1936, Kentucky, 1938, and The Westerner, 1940. Despite his cinematic success and amiable on-screen persona, Brennan's off-screen reputation was marred by his outspoken political views and controversial statements. Brennan's career spanned several decades, during which he appeared in numerous iconic films and television shows. His roles in Red River, 1948, alongside John Wayne and Rio Bravo, 1959, cemented his status as a staple in westerns. However, his off-screen life painted a different picture. Brennan was known for his staunch conservative beliefs, which often bordered on extreme. He was an ardent supporter of Senator Joseph McCarthy and his anti-communist crusade during the 1950s. Brennan's fervent anti-communist stance led him to make several inflammatory remarks that alienated many in Hollywood. One of the most notorious aspects of Brennan's off-screen behavior was his alleged racism and bigotry. Several accounts suggest that Brennan harbored deep-seated prejudices, which he did not shy away from expressing. For instance, he was known to be vehemently opposed to the Civil Rights Movement and often made derogatory remarks about African Americans. These views, coupled with his vocal support for McCarthyism, made him a polarizing figure in Hollywood. Brennan's personal life also had its share of controversies. He was described by colleagues as a difficult person to work with due to his rigid and uncompromising nature. Actress Katharine Hepburn once commented, "Walter Brennan was a fine actor, but his personal beliefs were something else entirely. His uncompromising stance on political issues often led to conflicts on set, and his reputation as a divisive figure overshadowed his professional achievements." Despite these controversies, Brennan's talent and distinctive presence kept him in demand throughout his career. His ability to bring depth and authenticity to his characters earned him a lasting legacy in the film industry. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, born Joseph Yule Jr. on September 23, 1920, in Brooklyn, New York, was a child star who transitioned into a long and varied career in Hollywood. With a career that spanned 9 decades, Rooney became a household name with roles in the Andy Hardy series, National Velvet, 1944, and Babes in Arms, 1939. Despite his talent and success, Rooney's off-screen life was filled with controversy, marked by tumultuous relationships and financial woes. Rooney's early career was characterized by his energetic performances and boyish charm, which endeared him to audiences and made him one of MGM's biggest stars. However, his personal life was far less stable. Rooney was married 8 times, with each marriage ending in scandal or acrimony. His first wife, Ava Gardner, was one of Hollywood's most glamorous actresses. Their marriage was short-lived, ending due to Rooney's infidelity and irresponsible behavior. Gardner once said, "Mickey was like a hurricane. There was no stopping him." His subsequent marriages were similarly fraught with issues, including allegations of abuse, financial irresponsibility, and constant infidelity. In addition to his turbulent personal relationships, Rooney struggled with financial mismanagement. Despite earning millions during his career, he declared bankruptcy multiple times. His lavish spending habits and poor financial decisions left him in dire straits on several occasions. In later years, Rooney spoke candidly about his financial struggles, saying, "I've been broke more times than you can count, but I've always found a way to bounce back." This cycle of wealth and poverty underscored the instability that plagued much of his life. Rooney's professional behavior also came under scrutiny. He was known for his erratic temperament and could be difficult to work with. His co-star from The Black Stallion, 1979, Terry Garr, described him as a handful on set, but also acknowledged his undeniable talent. Despite these challenges, Rooney continued to work prolifically, adapting to television, stage, and voice acting in his later years. Rooney's legacy is a complex one, balancing his immense contributions to entertainment with his often chaotic personal life. His ability to reinvent himself and continue working despite numerous setbacks is a testament to his resilience and talent. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, born on April 5, 1908, in Lowell, Massachusetts, was one of the most formidable and talented actresses of Hollywood's golden age. Known for her intense and often unglamorous portrayals of complex characters, Davis enjoyed a career that spanned over 5 decades, earning her 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress for her roles in Dangerous, 1935, and Jezebel, 1938. Her legacy as a trailblazer for women in the film industry is undisputed, but her off-screen reputation was fraught with feuds, difficult working relationships, and personal controversies. Davis's career was marked by a series of high-profile disputes with studios, directors, and co-stars. She was famously outspoken and unafraid to stand up for herself, which often led to conflicts. One of her most well-known feuds was with actress Joan Crawford, with whom she starred in the 1962 film Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. The animosity between the two was legendary, both on and off the set. Davis once quipped about Crawford, "The best time I ever had with Joan Crawford was when I pushed her down the stairs in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane." Their mutual disdain was a constant source of tabloid fodder, contributing to Davis's reputation as difficult and contentious.
She went to all the New York nominees and said, if you can't get out there, I'll accept your award. And please do not vote for her. She was so jealous. She was a fool, my dear. We had a great percentage. If I had won that Oscar, we'd have made $1 million more on the film. That's what always happens. So she wasn't very smart about it.
Beyond her professional feuds, Davis's personal life was equally tumultuous. She was married 4 times, with each marriage ending in divorce. Her relationships were often marred by allegations of infidelity, abuse, and bitterness. Her second husband, Arthur Farnsworth, died under mysterious circumstances, leading to speculation and rumors about their troubled marriage. Davis's volatile temper and domineering personality were well documented, and she often found herself at the center of controversy, both in her personal and professional life. Despite these challenges, Davis's talent and dedication to her craft were undeniable. She was known for her meticulous preparation and commitment to her roles, which often translated into stellar performances. However, her intense approach to acting sometimes alienated those she worked with. Director William Wyler, who collaborated with Davis on several films, once said, "Bette Davis is a great actress, but she can be very difficult." This duality of being both admired for her talent and criticized for her temperament made Davis a complex and often polarizing figure in Hollywood. Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly, born on August 23, 1912, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was a celebrated dancer, actor, and director who brought a dynamic athleticism to his performances, revolutionizing the musical genre in Hollywood. Known for his roles in classic films like Singin' in the Rain, 1952, An American in Paris, 1951, and On the Town, 1949, Kelly's energetic and innovative choreography set him apart as a true pioneer. However, behind the charming on-screen persona, Kelly's reputation was often overshadowed by his demanding nature and perfectionism on set. Kelly's career took off in the 1940s, and he quickly became one of Hollywood's top musical stars. His work in Singin' in the Rain, particularly the iconic dance sequence, showcased his incredible talent and has become legendary in film history. Despite these achievements, Kelly was known to be a hard taskmaster, often pushing himself and his colleagues to their limit. His perfectionism sometimes translated into a harsh and intimidating presence on set. Debbie Reynolds, who co-starred with Kelly in Singin' in the Rain, once described the experience as grueling, noting that Kelly could be exceptionally demanding and critical. Reynolds said, "Gene Kelly was a taskmaster. He came from a dance background where it was important to get everything right. It was tough, but I learned a lot, and it's likely he learned some of this behavior from his mother."
When she would get angry, she'd say, "Eugene?" And then I knew she was mad. And I'd say to her, even when I was in college, even that old, if she'd say, "Eugene," I knew she would really burn at me.
Kelly's personal life also had its share of controversies. He was married 3 times, with his first marriage to actress Betsy Blair ending in divorce amidst rumors of infidelity. Kelly's intense focus on his work often left little room for personal relationships, leading to strains and conflicts. Additionally, his political views occasionally brought him into the spotlight. Kelly was known for his liberal stance in support of progressive causes, which sometimes put him at odds with more conservative figures in Hollywood. Despite these challenges, Kelly's contributions to film and dance were immense. His innovative choreography and charismatic performances left an indelible mark on the industry, influencing countless performers and filmmakers. Kelly's legacy as a pioneering figure in musical cinema is well-deserved, even as his demanding nature and personal controversies add complexity to his story. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, born on April 16, 1889, in London, England, is one of the most iconic figures in cinematic history. Renowned for his role as the Little Tramp, Chaplin's blend of humor and pathos in silent films like The Kid, 1921, City Lights, 1931, and Modern Times, 1936, solidified his place as a pioneer of early cinema. However, Chaplin's off-screen life was riddled with controversy, marked by scandalous relationships, political scrutiny, and legal battles that painted a much darker picture than his charming on-screen persona suggested. Chaplin's career began in British vaudeville before he made his way to Hollywood, where he quickly rose to fame with his distinctive character and innovative filmmaking techniques. Despite his professional success, Chaplin's personal life was fraught with turmoil. He was married 4 times, and his relationships were often scandalous due to the significant age differences and the young ages of his wives. His marriage to Lita Grey, who was 16 when they wed and 12 years his junior, ended in a bitter and highly publicized divorce that included accusations of infidelity and abuse. Grey's claims and the subsequent media frenzy severely damaged Chaplin's reputation. In addition to his tumultuous relationships, Chaplin's political views brought him under intense scrutiny. During the Red Scare of the 1940s and 1950s, his left-leaning beliefs and alleged communist sympathies made him a target of the U.S. government. Chaplin's vocal criticism of capitalism and support for socialist causes drew the ire of influential figures in Hollywood and Washington. His film, The Great Dictator, 1940, a satirical take on Adolf Hitler and Nazism, showcased his political boldness, but also contributed to his controversial image. In 1952, while on a trip to England, Chaplin was denied re-entry to the United States due to his political views, effectively exiling him from Hollywood. Chaplin's legal troubles further complicated his legacy. He faced a paternity suit in 1943 from actress Joan Barry, who claimed that Chaplin was the father of her child. Despite conclusive blood tests proving otherwise, the court ruled in Barry's favor, and Chaplin was ordered to pay child support. This case, coupled with his political controversies and tumultuous personal life, painted Chaplin as a figure mired in scandal. John Wayne.
Once you make a picture, of our legendary cowboy, the American public and the world public want to see it.
John Wayne, born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa, was one of Hollywood's most iconic figures, renowned for his roles in westerns and war films. American Masculinity, starring in classics like Stagecoach, 1939, The Searchers, 1956, and True Grit, 1969, for which he won an Academy Award. Despite his on-screen heroism, Wayne's off-screen persona was often controversial, marked by his outspoken political views and allegations of bigotry. Wayne's career was defined by his collaborations with directors like John Ford and Howard Hawks, which produced some of the most memorable films in American cinema. His portrayal of stoic, tough characters resonated with audiences, earning him a place as a cultural icon. However, Wayne's personal beliefs and public statements frequently drew criticism. He was a fervent anti-communist and a vocal supporter of the Vietnam War, positions that polarized public opinion during the turbulent 1960s and 1970s. In a 1971 interview with Playboy magazine, Wayne made several inflammatory remarks about race and politics, saying, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility." Such statements reflected the deep-seated prejudices that alienated many of his contemporaries and fans. Wayne's personal life was also complex. He was married 3 times, with each marriage ending in divorce. His relationships were often troubled, marked by infidelity and a demanding nature. Wayne's staunchly conservative views and public support for controversial causes further strained his personal and professional relationships. His friendship with fellow actor Ward Bond, another staunch conservative, was often cited as an example of Wayne's close ties to like-minded individuals in Hollywood. Despite these associations, Wayne's political and social views frequently put him at odds with the progressive movements of his time. Despite the controversies, Wayne's impact on Hollywood and American culture remained significant. His portrayal of the American cowboy and soldier has become ingrained in the national consciousness, influencing generations of actors and filmmakers. Wayne's legacy is a complicated one, balancing his significant contributions to film with the less savory aspects of his personal beliefs and public statements. Frank Fay. Frank Fay, born on November 17, 1891, in San Francisco, California, was a vaudeville star and actor who made a significant impact on early Hollywood. Known for his quick wit and smooth delivery, Fay was considered one of the best comedians of his time. His career in film, though not as illustrious as his stage work, included notable performances in movies like Under a Texas Moon, 1930, and God's Gift to Women, 1931. However, Fay's off-screen life and behavior often overshadowed his professional achievements, marking him as one of the most disliked figures in Hollywood. Fay's career was characterized by his exceptional talent for stand-up comedy, which paved the way for his transition to films. Despite his skills, Fay's arrogance and abrasive personality made him difficult to work with. He was known for his temper and often clashed with colleagues. His marriage to actress Barbara Stanwyck was tumultuous and ultimately ended in divorce. Fay's abusive behavior towards Stanwyck was well documented, with reports indicating that he was both physically and emotionally abusive. This behavior not only tarnished his reputation, but also had a lasting impact on Stanwyck, who went on to have a highly successful career despite the turmoil she endured with Fay. Fay's personal life was riddled with controversy beyond his marriage. He was notorious for his drinking and combative nature, which frequently led to altercations both on and off the set. His arrogance was legendary. He was known to belittle and insult those he deemed inferior. Fellow comedian Milton Berle once said, "Frank Fay was a brilliant performer, but he was also a real son of a bitch. He alienated everyone he worked with." Despite his significant contributions to early comedy and his influence on future generations of comedians, Fay's legacy is tainted by his abusive and egotistical behavior. His talent could not compensate for his lack of humility and respect for others, which ultimately limited the extent of his success in Hollywood. William Frawley.
Excuse me, are you the owner of this place?
Owners don't carry brooms. I'm a trainer.
William Frawley, born on February 26, 1887, in Burlington, Iowa, is best remembered for his role as Fred Mertz on the classic television sitcom I Love Lucy. With a career that spanned vaudeville, film, and television, Frawley became a beloved figure in American entertainment. However, behind the scenes, his off-screen behavior and personal issues often overshadowed his professional achievements. Frawley's early career began in vaudeville, where he honed his comedic skills before transitioning to film in the 1930s. He appeared in numerous movies, often in supporting roles, but it was his portrayal of the grumpy landlord Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy that brought him widespread fame. Despite the show's success, Frawley's behavior on set was frequently problematic. He was known for his heavy drinking, which sometimes affected his work. His co-star, Vivian Vance, who played his on-screen wife, Ethel Mertz, reportedly detested him. Their off-screen relationship was strained, with Vance once saying, "I loathed William Frawley, and the feeling was mutual." Their mutual animosity required careful management by the show's producers to maintain the show's success. Frawley's alcoholism was a significant issue throughout his career. He often showed up on set under the influence, leading to erratic behavior and difficulties in filming. His drinking not only impacted his professional life, but also his personal relationships. Despite his talent, his inability to control his drinking led to numerous lost opportunities and strained relationships within the industry. In addition to his struggles with alcohol, Frawley had a reputation for being difficult to work with. He was known for his temper and could be abrasive with colleagues. This behavior further alienated him from his peers, making his successful collaborations all the more remarkable. Despite these personal challenges, Frawley's work on I Love Lucy left a lasting legacy, and his character remains one of the most memorable in television history. Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson, born on October 23, 1925, in Corning, Iowa, became a television icon as the host of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, a position he held for 3 decades from 1962 to 1992. Known for his quick wit, charm, and impeccable timing, Carson transformed late-night television and became a beloved figure in American households. Despite his on-screen affability, Carson's off-screen life was marred by a reputation for being difficult, vindictive, and often deeply private. Carson's rise to fame began with his work as a television writer and host in the 1950s, leading to his breakthrough on The Tonight Show. His ability to connect with audiences and celebrities alike made him a staple of late-night TV. However, those who worked closely with Carson often painted a different picture. He was known for his exacting standards and could be ruthless with those who failed to meet them. Joan Rivers, once a regular guest host and protege, experienced Carson's wrath firsthand when she launched her own competing talk show. Carson never spoke to her again, a testament to his unforgiving nature. Carson's personal life was equally tumultuous. He was married 4 times, with each marriage ending in divorce. His relationships were plagued by infidelity and substance abuse. His second wife, Joanne Copeland, described him as a very complex man who struggled with alcohol and often displayed a darker side behind closed doors. Carson's heavy drinking was no secret, and it contributed to his often volatile behavior. His temper and sharp tongue made him both feared and respected by those around him. Despite his personal flaws, Carson's professional legacy is significant. He was a master of his craft, known for his ability to navigate interviews with ease and bring out the best in his guests. His influence on television is undeniable, and many of today's late-night hosts cite him as a major inspiration. Carson's ability to balance humor with genuine moments of human connection set a standard for late-night television that endures to this day. Walt Disney. Walt Disney, born on December 5, 1901 in Chicago, Illinois, is celebrated as the visionary behind the iconic Disney brand, responsible for creating some of the most beloved characters and films in history. Disney's journey from a small-time animator to the head of a global entertainment empire is a testament to his creativity, determination, and business acumen. However, behind the fairy tale facade of his creations, Disney's life and career were marked by controversies, allegations of bigotry, and a reputation for being a ruthless businessman. Disney's early career was fraught with financial difficulties and setbacks. He co-founded the Disney Brothers Studio with his brother Roy in 1923, and the creation of Mickey Mouse in 1928 marked a turning point in their fortunes. The success of Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse's first sound cartoon, catapulted Disney to fame. Over the following decades, he produced groundbreaking films such as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937, the first full-length animated feature, and later classics like Cinderella, 1950, and Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Despite these successes, Disney's reputation as a harsh and demanding employer grew. He was known for his intense work ethic and high expectations, often driving his employees to their limits. Animator Art Babbitt once said, "He was the toughest, most demanding man I've ever worked for." Disney's personal views and political activities also drew significant criticism. He was accused of being anti-Semitic, although these claims remain a matter of debate. Animator David Swift, who worked closely with Disney, stated, "Walt was no saint, but the idea that he was anti-Semitic is absurd." Nevertheless, Disney's association with groups like the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, an organization known for its conservative and anti-communist stance, fueled these perceptions. His involvement in the Hollywood blacklist during the McCarthy era, where he testified against alleged communists, further tarnished his public image. Moreover, Disney's portrayal of racial and ethnic stereotypes in some of his early films has been a long-standing point of contention. Films like Dumbo, 1941, and Song of the South, 1946, have been criticized for their insensitive depictions of African Americans and other ethnic groups.
Charlie Chaplin, Let's start with one of the true icons of early cinema, Charlie Chaplin. The founding father of Hollywood, and arguably its most famous star ever, Chaplin left an incredible legacy with classics like The Kid, The Gold Rush, and Modern Times. But behind that lovable tramp persona was a man known for his volatile temper and mistreatment of those around him. He was a notorious perfectionist who would turn hostile towards anyone who didn't give him the standard of work he demanded. Accounts from the set recall a string of unnecessary firings, incessant verbal abuse, and near-daily tantrums from the comedic genius. His personal life was just as turbulent, with multiple ex-wives accusing Chaplin of emotional abuse, controlling behavior, and rampant infidelity. Wallace Beery. Sticking with early Hollywood, we have Wallace Beery, a hugely popular actor in the 1930s and 40s, who was also regarded as one of the biggest jerks on and off set. Beery was considered misanthropic and incredibly difficult to work with, often not bothering to learn his lines, and instead upstaging his co-stars. Child actors like Jackie Cooper had particularly unpleasant encounters with Beery. Cooper, who made several films with him, called Beery, quote, a big disappointment, accusing him of trying to undermine his performances out of jealousy. Beery was, quote, loathed by everybody and happily oblivious. Errol Flynn. Moving into the classic era of Hollywood, few stars embodied the swashbuckling hero quite like Errol Flynn. On screen, he was the epitome of dashing charm and bravado. Off screen, he was plagued by scandal and controversy. He faced multiple statutory rape trials in 1942, earning him the infamous nickname In Like Flynn. While acquitted each time, the damage to his reputation was severe. His hard-living lifestyle also took a toll on his appearance, and he was relegated to playing aging alcoholics later in his career. Bing Crosby. For decades, Bing's velvet voice and warm persona made him one of the most beloved entertainers in America. But according to his son Gary's explosive tell-all biography, Crosby had a dark side he kept hidden from the public. Gary alleged his father was a harsh disciplinarian who frequently beat his children with a studded leather belt. Housekeepers even allegedly subjected the Crosby kids to the drowning treatment in the bathtub as punishment. And despite his on-screen chemistry with Bob Hope, the two were far from friends, with Hope reportedly detesting his frequent co-star. Joan Crawford. Few Hollywood feuds are as legendary as the one between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis. Crawford's reputation as a jerk was cemented by her daughter Christina's infamous memoir, Mommy Dearest, which exposed the actress's alcoholism, jealousy, and obsessive cleaning habits. But Crawford's diva behavior went far beyond that. She was known for her bitter rivalry with Davis, with the two actresses engaging in a legendary feud both on and off the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Crawford even actively campaigned against Davis when she was nominated for an Oscar for the film, and Crawford was not. Mickey Rooney. Despite his diminutive stature and seemingly affable persona, Mickey Rooney had a well-earned reputation as a Hollywood jerk. In his autobiography, he boasted about his countless extramarital affairs, even describing his first wife Ava Gardner's private parts in explicit detail. Rooney also displayed little respect for his friend's privacy, exposing his close friend Judy Garland for a short-lived affair with a woman. And as per one journalist, Rooney, quote, nearly wore out the casting couch by auditioning young actresses for non-existent roles, indicating a trend of predatory behavior. Johnny Carson. For 3 decades, Johnny Carson was the king of late-night TV, charming audiences with his wit and easygoing demeanor. But behind the scenes, he was known for his volatile temper and competitive nature. He would fly off the handle at the most minor inconveniences, berating staff and guests with tirades of blue language. According to Joan Rivers, Carson cut off all contact with her after she got her own show, seeing her as a rival and doing everything in his power to destroy her career. Zsa Zsa Gabor. For decades, Zsa Zsa Gabor was as famous for her glamour and wealth as she was for her delightfully eccentric persona. But behind the glitz, Gabor had a reputation for being utterly mercenary, especially when it came to her own daughter. She seemingly resented her daughter Francesca, whom she barely acknowledged when she was no longer a cute little girl. When Francesca's billionaire father, Conrad Hilton, passed away, he left her only a small inheritance, which Gabor offered little help in fighting for. As a result, Francesca lived out her final years penniless. Gene Kelly. As one of the most legendary dancers and choreographers in Hollywood history, Gene Kelly's name is synonymous with incredible physicality and athletic grace. But his co-stars knew a different side of Kelly, one that often left them battered and bruised. Dancers who worked with Kelly frequently came home covered in bruises from his rough rehearsal style. But even more shockingly, he was accused of donating money to the Provisional Irish Republican Army in the 70s, telling their leader the funds were, quote, for guns rather than any humanitarian efforts. John Wayne. Few actors are more iconic to a particular genre than John Wayne is to the Western. The Duke was the embodiment of rugged American masculinity on screen. Off-screen, however, he harbored some very problematic personal views. In a notorious 1971 Playboy interview, Wayne voiced beliefs in white supremacy, claiming he didn't support African Americans holding public office until they were, quote, educated to a point of responsibility. He also publicly denounced homosexuality and infamously tried to physically confront Sacheen Littlefeather when she took the stage at the Oscars on behalf of Marlon Brando's Native American protest. Milton Berle. For a time, Milton Berle was one of the biggest stars on television thanks to his pioneering variety series. But the comedian, known as Uncle Milty to millions of viewers, had a much darker reputation behind the scenes as an inveterate joke thief. He earned the unfortunate nickname the Thief of Bad Gags for his penchant for stealing material from other comedians without remorse. His off-putting behavior even led to a lifetime ban from hosting SNL after a disastrous 1979 guest stint where he tried to take over the entire show. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra's near-mythical career spanned 6 decades, multiple artistic mediums, and countless iconic recordings and performances. But for as celebrated as Old Blue Eyes was professionally, his personal life was just as well known for its many scandals and controversies. He had ties to organized crime figures and a volcanic temper that frequently got him into trouble. He was also a notorious womanizer who engaged in numerous affairs even as his respective wives raised his children. The crooner's anger issues extended to reporters as well, with Sinatra involved in several physical altercations with journalists over the years. Marlon Brando. Few actors commanded the screen with the raw intensity of Marlon Brando. His performances in classics like A Streetcar Named Desire, Viva Zapata, and The Godfather are iconic. But that brooding presence extended off-screen too, where Brando had a reputation for being rude, arrogant, and completely indifferent to Hollywood norms. He frequently showed up late to sets, kept crews waiting for hours, and refused to memorize his lines, instead improvising much of his dialogue. He shunned personal hygiene as his career went on and would often mutter insults at those he worked with under his breath. It was clear that genius came with a massive ego in Brando's case. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.